All right, boys and girls, it is time for us to talk some more about triangles. Today we're going to talk about triangles and their exterior angles. Okay, so last time we talked about the interior angles of a triangle. If you recall, the interior angles if I took a triangle and I ripped it up into 3 different pieces and I took all 3 of those angles and I went rip, 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 when I put them together, they all formed a straight line, and we learned that the interior of a triangle is 180 degrees. Now check this out. I'm going to draw a triangle slightly differently than you're used to seeing. I'm going to have the line go past. So let's say this is a 90 and this guy's a 40, right? Well, if I do the math, I can figure out this interior angle right here. But what I'm going to find is the other half of him in the end. So I've got 40 degrees here, and I've got 90 here. 90 plus 40 is 130. If I take 130 away from 180, I'm left with 50, which tells me this angle right here. So I've got the 90 right there, the 90 right there. This is a full 180 on the inside. Now this is a straight line, so I know that these two are going to equal 180 degrees. So if I have 180 degrees between 50 and x, I take the 50 away from the 180, I'm left with 130. Now you may notice, if you look carefully, right here, when I added up the 40 and the 90, I got 130. These two angles equaled this angle here. Kind of a cool little trick. That's one way I can give you an exterior angle question. I give you one line drawn past where the triangle's vertices normally stop. I can also give you one where all of the lines go past the triangle. So there's one. Looks kind of like that. 2, 3. So all these lines have gone past the vertices of the triangle. Now I can go in here and I can put angles like 80 degrees here and 60 degrees here and 50 degrees right there, right? So those are the interior angles. And if I checked, 50 plus 60 this is a bad problem. That should be a 40 right there. Good thing I checked. I give you 190 degrees. I was going to get fired. So this is an ugly 4 right there. That's a 40 degrees right there. I'll probably make that mistake again. I do it often. Anyways, here are the 3 exterior angles, X, Y, and Z, that I would like you to figure out what they would be. Now you can pause the problem right now if you want and try and figure it out on your own, or you can follow along and we'll do another problem like this afterwards. Well, these 2 angles right here are on a straight line. I've got X and 80. I know they equal 180. If I take 80 away from 100, I know, well, not 80 away from 100, 80 away from 180, excuse me, I get 100. And that is this angle right there. This right here, these two add up to 180. So if I take 60 away from 180, I have 120. And that's the angle right there. Here I only have 40 on the inside, so if I take 40 away from 180, I'm left with 140. And that is the angle of Z. Let me do another one. You can try it. We didn't try that first one already. Okay. Let's make this guy 35, like this guy 85. And that leaves that guy with a, oh, well, that's fun. Isn't that 60 right here? Okay. So here's 3 angles, X, Y, and Z. These are the exterior angles of the triangle. I gave you all 3 of the interior angles. Pause the video and see if you can figure this out. Okay, you've paused the video. You've done some subtracting from 180. As you can see, there is sunshine pouring in from somewhere, making this look very off-lighted. Sorry about that. Let me try and get my... Come on, get to that light. Oh, well. I'll block it better. There we go. I can be smarter. Okay, back to a better mathematical video. So I'm going to take the 85 away from 180. And if I take the 80 away from 180, I'm left with 100. 100 minus 5 is 95. So y equals 95 degrees. If I take 60 away from 180, I'll get 120. And if I take 35 away from 180, take 30 away from 80, I'm left with 50. Take away 5 from 50, I'm left with 45. So x is 145 degrees. And there's that problem. Wasn't that fun? I'm sure you're loving these. I'm going to show you something kind of unique or fun or cool or however you want to look at it. If I take 145, and I take the 120 here, and the 95 right there, and I add them all up, you want to know what I'm going to get? Well, there's 10. That's going to be 5, 6, 7, 16, 1, 2, and 3. That's right. The exterior angles of a triangle equal 360 degrees. Watch how I turn that into an annoying equation. Actually, annoying is just because it's so much fun. You're annoyed that this is so cool. So, if I gave you x, x, and x, I told you that all three of these exterior angles are obviously the same. You can make an equation out of this. X plus x plus x, of course, is 3x. And we just figured out that the exterior angles of a triangle all equal 360 degrees. So the equation for the exterior angles is 3x equals 360 degrees. So if I divide by 3, I know that 36 divided by 3 is 12, so x is going to equal 120. Isn't that fun? Say it's awesome. I think it's fantastic. I gotta say, teaching to a video is so non-interactive. I miss having you guys chime in with answers and questions. Teaching to a piece of paper is not my favorite thing to do. Let's do another problem, and we'll see what happens here. And one more line like this. Okay. Now, I'm going to get real tricky here. Let's see if you can figure this out, okay? I'm going to put 80 on the inside. I'm going to put x and x on the outside. This is a super challenging problem. Pause and think about it and see if you can figure it out, okay? Okay, here we go. Well, there's a couple different crazy things we know. Because x and x are the same angles, these angles are the same as well. So these here and those there are both going to be, well, not all the same, but these two are going to be the same, and those on the outside are going to be the same. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take 80 away from this 180 right here, right? That's 180 degrees on that line. Take the 80 away, I'm left with 100. Now I have an equation where I have two x's plus 100 equals the full exterior, which is 360 degrees. Let's take away 100 from both sides. I'm left with 160. If I divide by 2, I get, I said 160. 260, sorry. If I divide by 2, x equals 130 degrees. 130 here, 130 there. The inside angles, by the way, it would be 50 and 50. Okay, I'm going to give you a practice sheet, or a sheet with some problems on it. I'm going to have you pause it, and then we'll go over it. All right. There are 4 exterior angle problems for you to do. So, pause, and we'll get to it. Okay, hopefully you've completed all 4 of these problems. All right, we're going to do number 1 first. Of course, I have all of the interior angles given to me, so I'm going to take them each away from 180 to find the exterior angles. So I'm going to start with x. I'm going to take 65 away from 180. I know if I take 60 away, I'm left with 120. Take 5 away more. And I'm with 115 degrees for x. I'm going to take 75 away from 180. I know that 80 minus 75 is going to leave me with 5, so it's 105 degrees for y. Take the 40 away from 180. That leaves me with 140, and that is going to be z. All right, number 2. Oh, it's this square right here, which we know means 90 degrees. So I've got 90 here and 40 up there. So if I add that up, I get 130. So if I take 180 and I take 130 away from it, I get 50. And that gives me this interior angle here. Now they are a pair as well. Got 180, I'm going to take the 50 away, and I get the 130 again. And now I recall that these two angles added up equal the exterior angle. And I'll try and remember that for next time, so I just have to add instead of do all the extra subtraction. Coming down here to the next one. See, I've learned from up here that if I just add these two up, 55 plus 45, 50 and 40 is 90, plus 2 more 5s makes 100. That means this x is going to be 100 right here, just by adding the 55 and the 45. Now, if I did the math and I got 100 here and I took that away from 180, I would get 80, which means this interior angle is 80, and 80 plus 100 is 180. Therefore, I know I'm good. All right, moving back to the last one, number 4. I've got just exterior angles here. I've got 115 and 120. If I combine those, I get 200, and that's going to make 35. And I know they equal 360 degrees. So if I take that away, I get x equals, well, 300 minus 200 is 100. And then 60, that's 30, that's going to be 25. 125 degrees is x. Okay, and there's your exterior angle practice. I'm trying to not make these too long so you don't get too bored with doing math. Check out the online homework number 3, which is about 6 more problems dealing with exterior angles, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.